My research presentation is Evolution of the Immune System in Vertebrates. My thesis statement consists in proof how evolution works in the immune system in vertebrates. There are some academic points that I'm gonna talk about. Key features are the stimulus somatic variation of the antigen receptor on lymphocytes. First, multicellular organisms consist of enzymatic and cellular activation. Evolution in vertebrates needed to improve from their innate system to an adaptive. Adaptive immune system provides somatic variation of antigen receptors and strategies for defense. Coevolution in microorganisms evolved to attack the first line of mucosal barrier. Coevolution in the immune system evolved receptors to recognize foreign microorganisms. Evolution in the immune system consists in developing new strategies to defend from pathogens microorganisms. Natural selection led morphological changes to occur in organisms in order to survive. Mutation outcomes are specific behavior and physical traits which increase fitness. Those morphological changes occur in the immune system. The innate immune system produces receptors that triggers response to pathogen invasions, and also occurs in the adaptive immune system, consists in antigen receptor genes, cell surface receptors, and the production of antibodies that destroy the pathogen or prevent the damaging of the cells. In the image, we can observe the divergence between the innate immunity and adaptive immunity. In the innate immunity, organisms are more simple. In the adaptive immunity, organisms are more complex, with jaws and bony skeletons. Vertebrates were facing new challenges, as new diseases and pathogens. They need to evolve to an adaptive immunity to be able to survive to the new challenges. I'm going to talk about the immune system, which is the innate defenses, also called or known as a non-specific. Decrease immune cells in the affected area and releases specific chemicals mediators called cytokines, which regulate immunity, inflammation, and hematopoiesis. They release specialized white blood cells to identify and remove foreign substances present in organs, tissue, blood, and limbs. Then acts as a physical and chemical barriers to infection agents. In this image, we can see the monocytes and the neutrophils that are white blood cells, and they are removing the foreign substance by macrophage. Physical barriers are between the innate and adaptive immune system. Physical barriers have evolved through mutation, natural selection, and adaptation. Physical barriers are our first defense against disease and foreign bacteria that come against the vertebrate animals. Physical barriers come in many forms, whether it be skin that prevents the entry, saliva, which has antibacterial enzymes, tears, antibacterial enzymes, mucus, lining trap dirt and microbes, which is in the gastrointestinal tract, and respiration. That stomach acid, which has low pH, kills harmful microbes, and a good bacteria outcompete a bad. Each with its own individual line of mutation, function, and physiology. Gonna talk about the skin. The skin is the largest organ that the immune system has, and it is the first defense against a foreign disease. Skin is very adaptive to its environment. The skin consists of 5 different layers. The surface layers have specific defensive cells, such as antibodies. As we can see in this image, you can see how the pathogens arrive from the external environment to the first physical barriers, which are the skin and membranes. Then has to the physiological barriers. And the innate immunity, pH, and antimicrobial enzymes release inflammation, and macrophage activation, cytokine, chemical signaling is for the neutrophil recruitment, cytotics, and cell-based pathogen destruction. Then there was like between the innate adaptive complement systems, which shows the natural killer cells and the sentinel cells, antibody and cell-based pathogens destructions. And the end, we have the adaptive immunity, which are the B cells activation and antibody production. And there are cytokines, chemokines, signals, T cells activation, and cytostatic activity. Antibodies recognize antigens and remove from the body, as we can see in the left image. Mast cells contain histamine, and histamine makes the skin swell, and contains signaling chemicals which activate the immune system. At the contact site, skin swells and becomes red. When the blood vessels open, they leak fluid from the blood vessel and leads vessels into the tissue. I'm gonna talk about more deep in the other slides about the innate immunity and the adaptive immunity. Immune system adaptive defenses. It is also known as a specific immune system known as adaptation. Learn to recognize specific pathogens. Defend, learn, and recognize by producing antibodies and memory B cells. This has T cells and B cells. T cells are type of lymphocytes. They help to recognize different antigens and differentiate them from harmful antigens. T cells have different types. Killer T cells, which kills the antigens by perforating holes and inserting an enzyme in the antigen. Have helper T cells, which help to activate the killer cells or trigger macrophage, and the macrophage can ingest infected cells. And the B cells produce antibodies and memory B cells. After the exposure of antigens to B cells, we produce antibodies and memory B cells. Memory response. The adaptive immune system creates memory response, such as primary and secondary responses. The primary response is a first encounter with the pathogen. Plasma cells release antibodies and T cells increase. As B cells and T cells mature, naive population differs them between the antigen specialties. A memory cell is an antigen-specific B or T lymphocytes and present in circulation. The secondary response consists of following contact with the same antigen. B cell clones increase and respond effectively against the same antigen. One example of memory response are vaccines. Vaccines act as memory response through B cells and their antibodies. When there is a vaccination, B cells collect the vaccine and begin making antibodies and memory cells against it. If there is infection, B cells with their certain antibodies will be activated and fight against it. Now I'm going to talk about evolution of the immune system. The immunological memory response from the vertebrate is critical in the evolution pathway because it provides resistance to previous infections and helps to protect from harmful environment. They are responsible for the production of host defense in a specific disease. The innate immune system works by using recognition receptors and are encoded in genome as separate genes. The adaptive receptors are broadly encoded to gene segment and varied receptors at T and B cells. So first, they evolve and detect the antigen, then deflect or defend the pathogen, and the end they destroy by phagocyting cells to protect the body. Subsequently, specific antibodies from the adaptive immune system attack and destroy the foreign microorganisms. Evolution of the innate immune system. All vertebrates in their blood have phagocyte cells, which can be ancestors of macrophage, and evolutionary neurony, which is retention of juvenile traits. Macrophages are involved in the origin of dendritic cells and lymphocytes. Through evolution, the top pathway macrophage recognizes the pathogen. Then specialized blood cells and their antibodies are are molded by evolution to act effectively against that pathogen. So phagocytes eat the antigen.